You know, that Leipzig was so much better in that second half in terms of possession. We said they'd come out and they'd play more, and they did. But I think they lacked that intensity. They didn't keep the ball with the same presence that they normally have, City. So I think all in all, Rio's right. It's a decent result, but there was probably more in it for City if they played the way they did in the first half.
And not making the subs interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the first time that I can remember that he's not actually done that. But I think the fact that Leipzig was so aggressive in the second half didn't really give City time to breathe. I think sometimes it is hard to bring a sub on in a situation like that. It might unsettle the way that they're playing or the way that they're defending. So in the end, it worked out that it was a good choice. But like Real said, I think City still created a few chances when their backs were against the wall, and on another day, maybe they would have gone in the back of the net.
There was a moment right towards the end there when the ball was swung in the box, and there was it looked like a claim for handball from Manchester City. Pep looked frustrated on the sidelines. We've got it just here. Let's have a little look at this and see whether we think there's anything in this. I mean, this is just seconds before the end of the game, Rio.
Yeah,
that's handball.
That looks like
that's handball.
Right, he said it's handball. It's got to be handball. The ex-Man City player.
So seeing here the vagaries of VAR.
You can't go like that.
Let's see that again. Let's have another look at it.
Volleyball. He's playing volleyball.
I need a close-up. I need a close-up.
To be fair, this is the first we've seen it, so
let's have it really slow as the ball comes in.
Oh my God.
Sean's devastated.
Let's try and get some confirmation as well whether VAR actually looked at this.
That's handball, you know.
That is handball.
I can't believe it.
Owen?
it's handball.
He's tried to push it away.
Yeah, but what is he doing? Scared of it.
Yeah.
We didn't get any mention that VAR looked at that, did we? There was no kind of...
The City players, watch the City
To be
players'
fair, he played
reaction,
great in the second half, didn't he, Henriks, when he came on? He covered that whole right-hand side, but that looked like that was handball.
I think the City players' reaction tells you all you need to know there. They all react and they all go to the referee.
No wonder Pep was annoyed.
Absolutely. Well, we'll hear from him and get his thoughts on that in a moment. I mean, it makes no difference. The moment's gone now, doesn't it? We'll also try and get some... Pep delivers a rallying cry to his players at the full-time whistle. Look, we've got the touchscreen. We're going to look at the goals. We're going to look at the Leipzig chances as well in a moment. But the conversation on social media from City fans at the moment is how can we perform like that in the first half and then like that for most of the second half? How can we explain such a drop-off in performance from the away side?
I think it's hard to explain. I think we expected City to come out and keep control of the game like they did in the first half. But at the same time, we still have to respect that I think Leipzig are a good team and they're very strong at home. So you expect them to have a spell at some point in that game. But I just didn't think it would last as long as it actually did, to be honest with you. I thought City would regain control of the game and start dictating again.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think games go like that, though. And I think that's like... the experience that Pep has, I think you look at it and you go, you know what, it's very rare you dominate the full 90 minutes and you have complete control of a game. There's going to be spells, but like Sean said, maybe you feel that he would have altered something within his tactics, his approach, personnel, even he didn't make a substitution, like we said.
That's the first Champions League game in 4.5 years.
And you think to yourself,
substitution.
Pep's somebody you think he's a chess player. He gets put in a position, right, he works his way out of it. And today they didn't manage to do that in the second half.
Yeah, I thought the first half they were brilliant. I thought that was pure control. Yeah. Second half, even from the kickoff of the second half, I felt like they lacked a tiny bit of intensity. You know, in terms of pressing, they allowed Leipzig. They made a good change.
They were sloppy as well, weren't they?
Yeah, Henriks came on. He provided width on the right-hand side, and Szoboszlai was able to come inside, and they controlled the game. These guys are a possession-based side. First half wasn't them. Maybe they looked at Forest and the way they defended and played deep. Second half, they obviously realised they had to come out a bit more, and they were a ball-playing side, and we saw that. So I think it's a bit of both. Credit Leipzig, but also City were a little bit reserved, and I think that's what Pep was probably saying to his players on the pitch there. You know, they had them, just finish the job.
OK, well, let's go through it then, first half, first of all, because at half-time, we're saying how many more are they going to add in the second half? They looked brilliant for the first 45.
Well, they were great. I mean, before I even press play, look at Mahrez' starting position. Oh, it's gone off.
Oh, hold on, we're back.
There we go. Mahrez' starting position was inside the pitch. Normally, he'd be probably around this type of area, hanging around out here. But he was inside, and that was really the trigger in terms of regaining possession and where the goal comes from. Great position inside. Comes on his blind side, as Sean said, and then it's just about quality.
And the way he just follows the run, I think Owen off air, we had a conversation. His run isn't the perfect run, but because he's blind side of that holding midfielder, he just runs straight, but maybe he can even pull out here and get the ball in that space as well. But it's take nothing away from the finish. I think the finish is good, but I feel like the keeper could have did a little bit better. He was wrong-footed. In
I don't know
all
what
due
the keeper's
respect
doing
there.
there.
He was wrong-footed in all due respect.
None of us have been a goalkeeper, isn't it?
I'd save that.
Once you put all of your weight on that foot to get across there is not easy.
I don't know. You have to ask one of your goalkeeper mates because
You must have more than me.
I wouldn't be happy with that. If Edward had let that in, I'd have been going bananas.
I bet you would. Right, let's have a look at what changed then. The second half starts and suddenly it's a very different home side.
No, I mean the second half it was a. This is the chance. This was the game changer here. It could have been. It would have been a beautiful moment because the right back comes on the pitch, which is the bottom of your screen.
But I'll just highlight him there, really.
Yeah.
That's Henrik's there. And to be fair, and that allowed Szoboszlai to go inside. Really, he started on the right wing, so he was never really in the game. This is where you want to get him.
Why did that make such a difference, Szoboszlai getting inside?
Because he's not a winger. He wants to get on the ball, and they didn't have any of the ball to kind of get inside. He wasn't in the game. Credit Marco Rosa, their manager, good manager. He realised we need a bit of athleticism. That's Henrik's, which is a bit like Kyle Walker. You know, like Mahrez went inside. Szoboszlai did the same, and it had an effect on City.
I think Ake gets drawn to the ball. If you're going to go in there, you have to take everything. The ball, the man, whatever it is, or even foul. I think that the fact that Ruben Diaz is there, who could get to that ball there, I think that Ake, he needed to stay here. Stay in this position here, cover the run. Doesn't do
Rio,
that.
do you think the whole back four is a little bit too far over?
Yeah, I think the whole team was.
Yeah.
But if you're over that side of the pitch, you can't let them out. And they managed to get out and get a good composed ball to the right back, but you wanted someone else on the end of that to finish.
I don't know, maybe all he needs to do is strike true to it. Strike through the ball. I don't feel like he can side foot from that position, but Silverhair was tremendous skills there, and Edison, I think, comes out and makes a fantastic save when it called upon when he's needed.
He turns to Kanji.
They never got really here in the first half, did they? This high with this many bodies. Credit Marco Rosa, you know, that he knew they were a ball-playing side, made a couple of tweaks, and it really worked in the second half.
And this is the goal, to make it 1-1. And there's a few different problems for me. I think Pep will be fuming with this. I think Gundogan has to get out there. You can't have 2v1 out there.
No.
He has too much space, too much time to cross the ball, and we'll see it in a little while. It's a great cross. I think Edison's got to do better, but we'll see on the third run in a sec.
Like for me, I feel like Mahrez maybe could imply pressure to that cross quicker, just to make the ball that he puts in a little bit difficult to give his defenders a chance. But you don't normally go out when it's 2v1. Most probably why he's held off and waited to see which direction he's going to go.
I think you look there, Guardiola. You think it's a foul? Yeah. He gets up so early. I think that's what takes it out.
I think he's just bracing himself.
How is it not a foul though? Because there's no way that he can jump with his hands on his shot.
He can't jump now.
He's up.
But I think he's already up, isn't he?
Yeah, but even if you're up, if I'm up and Rio's going to jump and the ref looks and I'm just holding him down, he's going to give a foul. Because it's stopping it, but the header's fantastic.
That is an insane header.
Yeah, the header is
insane leap.
I think Edison should come and claim the ball.
I don't think it is, and I think it's not because it looks it when we put it still there, but when the ball's up, he's there to go and attack it. I agree, Ruben Diaz, he can't really get up.
Calling for a foul there if you were the defender.
No, I'd be more annoyed with myself of not getting up early and my body position being wrong.
Okay. Well, there's another contentious issue which we'll talk about after the break as well. Should Manchester City have had a penalty? The resounding feeling here in the studio is yes. We'll take a look at it. We'll ask why VAR didn't look at it, and we'll hopefully hear from Pep Guardiola as well. I can tell you he remains locked into the Manchester City dressing room with his players at the moment. As soon as he emerges, we'll speak to the City boss. See you shortly.